But let me ask you this. What is the Republicans' goal in bringing this to the floor today?
Well, we are trying to show that we must stop this bill from being implemented. As we speak, Cheryl, it is being implemented. Parts of it are being implemented. We've now had 2 federal judges say it's unconstitutional. And in fact, I'm introducing legislation that will put a moratorium on any further taxpayer dollars to be spent on implementation of this bill until these lawsuits have reached their final conclusion. Because right now, states are differing on whether they go forward with implementation or whether they say, we don't need to go forward because there is a judge that says it's unconstitutional. And we need clarity, and we need to stop the implementation of this bill until the Supreme Court has ruled.
Well, another sidebar to this, Senator Hutchison, is Senator Johans actually introduced something that would kill the 1099 mandate. If I'm reading this correctly, this might be successful. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Senator Johans has been fighting for this now for the last few months, and finally we're going to win this one, I believe. So we are beginning to take off parts of it. The 1099 is something that most business people are complaining about, rightly so. So I think we will be able to repeal that, and I hope the president signs it. He says that he will, or he says he's for that. So that would be one step, but there are so many things that are being implemented right now that are costly. I'm going to try to also offer a bill that would take away the restrictions on HSAs, health savings accounts, where people can pay for their out-of-pocket expenses with pre-tax dollars. That's another one that just shouldn't be implemented. It's wrong.
All right, Senator Hutchison, I want to switch gears with you here for just a moment. Senator Kerry, your colleague, John Kerry, wrote an op-ed in the New York Times, and he basically says it is time for President Hosni Mubarak to just step aside. And really, he is the first U.S. official to come out so strongly against the regime and the president in Egypt. Do you agree with Senator Kerry about the situation in Egypt?
Well, I do think that we need to be in solidarity with the Egyptians who have protested peacefully and have stood their ground. We respect that very much. I also believe that there should be some kind of transition in place before there is just a complete abandonment that would have the constitutional rights put in place, that would require a free election, and that would hopefully have a secular government be able to emerge, one that will represent all of the people of Egypt and have constitutional rights of individuals. So I think that it needs to be a step-by-step process, but I think it needs to be quicker than this fall. It needs to start transitional now, but there do need to be stepping blocks.
So you think that President Mubarak should step down before September?
I do personally think that would be best for Egypt, but of course, I do think that you can't just have chaos take its place. You have to have some kind of orderly capability to set in place the benchmarks for a free election. You need to have a secular government that will absolutely adhere to the human rights of the Egyptian people.
Senator Hutchison, that being said, I mean, we have so much on the plate right now, from Egypt to healthcare repeal, all of that happening this afternoon. Some decent numbers on ADP payrolls out today. Unemployment still high, though. I mean, where's our primary focus? Where should we be looking right now? What's your biggest worry on the table?
Well, I think certainly the balanced budget and getting our economic house in order is the first important responsibility of Congress. We need to cut spending. We need to repeal this health care bill that is freezing employment. People are not hiring because of the costs of hiring employees with this health care bill, the taxes involved looming over them. I also think we have to have an eye toward the Middle East, because it is in everyone's interest that there be democratic government, but also the underpinnings of democratic government in human rights, private property ownership, the freedoms that must be there for democracy to succeed, unlike what has happened with elections where Hamas or Hezbollah have taken over governments. That's not a step in the right direction. You cannot have terrorist organizations or organizations that want to wipe out Israel be in the government. So what kind of democracy, what kind of elections are very important in Egypt as well.
Because no one wants another Iran, Senator. Very well said. Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison from Texas, it's always great to speak with you, Senator. Thank you, especially for your patience this afternoon.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right, well, folks, now let's switch to another rough story today. That's the weather. Punxsutawney Phil, he might have predicted an early spring this morning, but come on, it doesn't feel that